lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
I'm just gonna start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
ああ、聞こえます。そう入る？
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
止められてるかな。
the first time in years,
2010年。
I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
どういうストーリーなのか全くつかめん。
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
とりあえず鍵外そうぜ。何これ。
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
どういうゲームなのこれ。液晶テレビ。2010年の頃に液晶テレビが早いな。いや早くもないか。コーカサスオオカブトわからん。
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
開かないのかよ。
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
そっちに行けってメッセージが来てるけど誘導には従わない。
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's
Wow.
room.
いやこっち行ったらなんか話進みそう。 こっちは何もないの。もしかしてこう上がってきた。
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
バーバラ、
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
オーディンによって建てられた。強そうだな。
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
ネズミの
The
餌。
gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
え、マジで？ネズミの餌って言ってるけど、ネズミこれ脱走してね？クリストファー。コロンブスじゃん。
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
クリストファー食べようとしたけど我慢した。まあ食べようと思う自体すごいけどな。
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
暗くて全然見えない。え？ああ、びっくりした。
I kept eating and eating.
歯磨きか。そこまで晩ご飯食わないだけだろ。
I ate a lot of things that night.
それって食えるもん？
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a
夜
barn
遅くって言
swallow
ってたけど、
going
そんな
back to her
いや
nest.
わかったわ。
I reached out for her.
闇が深い
And
色だな。
suddenly,
え？
I was a cat.
どういうこと？
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
.次どこ行けばいいんだこれ。あそこ。
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
もうこの時点でだいぶホラーのこと言ってるけど。
I
この人は
gobbled
ホ
her
ラーゲームだったんだ。
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
からないように。跳ねる。サメなのに歩けない。嘘だろ。私が知ってるサメは歩けるし飛べるし吠えるぞ。ビームも出すし。
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
沈んでる。
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
世界観がよくわからん。
I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
次は何に変わってるの？タコ？そうな。ヘビか。
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
ヘビ君。まずどういうゲームなのか全くわからん。
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
なかなかうるせえぞ。
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Belly with a rust. Belly with a rust. Belly with a rust.
なんかサシさんみたいな声で歌ってる。
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
マジで世界観が理解できん。トイレじゃん。暗くて見えない。
I got closer and closer.
これ自宅じゃね？
all my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
まるで理解できん。なんかなんだかんだ変身して夢でも見てたの。わからん。
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
うん。
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here.
まずこの主人公が何をしてるのかすらもよく分かってないんだけど。
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
森の一部。ああ、このクラゲみたいなやつに変身してたってこと？森が。あ、猫。
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories.
Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Her room was like a museum.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
じゃあこれどういうゲーム？
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his
全体像と
house,
いうか
hoping to
大
leave
ま
the
かな
curse
流れというか
behind.
それがつかめない。
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
家族についてまとめに来てるのか何なのかすらもよくわからねえ。とりあえずこのオーディンでたちの家について調べてるっていうのはわかるんだけど、それ以外にわからん。うわし趣味ある。
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
もうわからねえよ。
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
もう誰が誰だかわかんねえ。名前もうわかんねえ。誰が誰だっけ。あ、見ればいいのか。いや、見てもわかんねえ。おっと、選挙カーが来たから。
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
こいつが今度鳥にでもなんのか。
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
そんなマッシュルームそこまでやだ。
I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
だいぶ遠さね。
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
だいぶ怖くないこれ。いつまでやるの？一周するみたいなこと一周しそうになるまで危なくない？ああ、これ頭を打つ。
The day he made up his mind
Ah,
to fly, and he did.
飛んだ。 Kevin.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
パイロットみたいになりたかったのかな、これを見る限り。宇宙か何のパイロットか知らないけど。で、なぜかロースク大量になるし、よくわかんないな。あ、ここの部屋、ここになんかない。
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
なるほどね。入隊ってことはあれか。空軍になろうとしたってこと。弟だか兄だか知らんけど。すごい複雑な家かっこ物理だ。
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
どっちから行こう。こっちから行こう。あれ、戻ってきた。
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
こ一回来たよな。なんでわざわざなんかドラゴンがどうこう言ってた話があったけど、そこ行った方がいいかな。いや、いいとこめんどくせえし。
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
バーバラスター。はあ。
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
なるほどね。
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight. The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
No, これじゃないのか。まず人骨の模型。ミニラジホーラー付近と。ちょっとやめたり。違う？こっちじゃない？こっち
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara. That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
まあとどめさせなきゃな。あれ？
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream
いやでも松葉杖で殴られた
come.
方
She
がたまった
saw
もんじゃな
what
くて
kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous.
あ、そういうことね。
Her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
あんまりうまいこと言ってないぞ。これバーバラがなぜ
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending. I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Hmm. マジで世界観理解できねえんだが、このフィンチ家の
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
フィンチ系であった事件事故を突き詰めていくみたいな話なの。家族全員分。ちょっと待ってくださいね。さっき、
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
なかなかえげつないこと言いますね。
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
なんか電気切られてるはずだ。
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
食料がいっぱいある。
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today.
So
I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
現実見てるのか、それとも全員発狂して幻覚なのか。
And then one day, everything just
うわ、だいぶ時間過ぎてる。カ
stopped.
レンダーを見たら。
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting.
この人は
Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can. I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
これよくわかんねえ。他のキャラと比べてなんか生き残ってね。
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
え？どういうこと？
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
外に出て逃げ切ることはできなかったのかな。よくわかんない。読解力タイムの
Maybe she was
私
afraid
じ
I'd
ゃ
end up like
難
Walter.
しいこのゲーム。でもなんか雰囲気が面白いから。
But if she
やっ
never
ちゃう。
told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
コミックってばな。
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
まあそういうことね。何かしら呪いがあるってのを信じて。ああ、すいません。今音声確認今更してました。ああ、そもそもないんじゃん。なんか光ってる。
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
呪いがあるってことが噂というか
Maybe it'd be
伝
better
統
if
みたい
all
な
this
のがあ
just
っ
died
て
with
それ
me.
を信じすぎて怪異的な感じで現れたみたいな。
But I thought you should know
いやよ
about
くわ
your
かんない。ごめ
family.
ん。 このゲーム結局よくわ
and
か
the
んない。
history you're a part of.
あの光ってんのちょっと気になるな。まあこれ以上それにいけないか。
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
あなたとどこに来るって言うけど二人ともね。
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
見えない見えない。どこ行けばいいの？こっち？こっちか。洞窟的なのまたあんのかと思ったらそこか。
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
これくらい自動でやってくれよ。
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
え？沈んでる。ああ、なんかあったな。津波に飲み込まれたみたいな話あったな。
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
もうそろそろ前に。あ、だからさっきちょっとお腹がマスの方見たらお腹がぷっくりしてたわけね。はあ。 今明かされる衝撃の真実。
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
いやえ
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Hmm? Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off. Not quite.
I'm over here, Dad.
Just need to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can hit the road.
どういうことこれ。何すりゃいいの。動かないんだよこれ。えマジでこれどうすりゃいいのここから。あ、そういうこと。ピント合わせれるのね。
Perfect.
すっげえ無意味
It's
に
gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
どこいんのあいつ。いないにえ何取ればいいの今度。まるで理解できない。プレやん。どこ何取ればいいのマジで教えてくれ。ノーヒントすぎて辛いんだが。娘みたいなのいないし。どこにヒントを合わせれば。見当たんなくない？何取ればいいのこれ。ノーヒント。このゲームもう終了しそう？別にどこ行って空取ればいいの？普通に何したらいいかわからない。 助けて。あれじゃない。ここら辺のどっかにいるとか。まさかそんな遠くにいるわけねえよな。でもな、ここら辺には。いない。何すりゃいいの。ちょっと助けてくれ。マジ何もさ教えてくれないのはきついぞこれ。後ろいない。これ以上振り向けない。あ、いたいたいたいた。
Hold still.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere.
鹿を探すと。鹿。
I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time.
鹿。
Give me a minute to check the map.
あ、いいんじゃない？逆光なんだけど。鹿。
Let's see.
何撮ればいい？わかんない。
Was it? Could have been. You don't need to waste any more film on me, kiddo.
GG 以外に何撮ればいいか周りだからこれじゃないのかな。なんかないの？鳥？
Good eyes, Don.
ああ、違う。
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Don, just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
still...
normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me. Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
わりかし普通に今死んだよな。他のやつと比べて。なんか怪奇現象とか、そんな感じで死んでるやつが多い。なんか、鹿に頭突きされて落とされて死ぬっていう。なんかこう、これでいいのかみたいな感じになってしまうんだな。
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
It's 寒いな。てか、そろそろ終わります。じゃあ、
Dear Kay.
始まっちゃう。終わります。ありがとうございました。